The old tree by a stream, I listen as he speaks to me. A gentle whisper, soft and still, and suddenly I'm at his feet.
Mike.
Yes.
So good, and I mean so good to have you here. You've took the trip up on the train, I'm led to believe.
Yes, first train journey, solo. I absolutely hate leaving my home.
Honestly.
I walk and cycle everywhere, and if it's not in a 5 mile direction from where I need to be,
Yeah.
I'll go.
Wow. So you've come up, Luke told me on the phone earlier, you've come up from Dundonald. Did you get the train in Dundonald?
Yes, 64 mile away.
64 mile and ended up in Coleraine.
I even googled it.
Very good.
Because I thought, I wonder could I cycle it?
That's brilliant.
It says cycle time 3 days. No.
That's right. We actually, do you know what we should have thought? Actually, we should have got you to stay up in the North Coast. But you've got family. You're going to tell us a little bit about your own family in a moment or two. But tell us a wee bit about your background family, how you were brought up, where you were brought up, a wee bit of detail in relation to that.
Right. Well, I'm originally from Tullycornet, just at the edge of East Belfast. Born and pretty much raised there.
Wow.
So it was.
Now, going in Tullycornet, I've spoke and done a lot of meetings in the Little Baptist Church.
Right.
Do you know the Little Baptist Church?
I
It's
don't.
Glen something it's called.
Right.
There's another word for it there, so I know exactly where you're at. There's a wee football team in
Right.
Tullycornet as well. Tell us a wee bit about how growing up was for you.
Well, growing up for me in general was pretty chaotic, pretty nuts. You know, I think even through primary school, I had this kind of ball of energy, you know, of just, you know, I couldn't focus on, even through school, I couldn't focus on what everybody was saying because I was constantly thinking about 6 other things at once, and whatever kind of would grasp my attention was what I did.
Wow.
And it was usually something that wasn't good.
Yeah. Take us in, because we were talking off camera there. Take us into a wee bit of the school. Just you've touched on it.
So even through primary school, you know, there you're talking a class of 28 to 32 children.
Yeah.
And I would say, the problem child, the class clown, the tough kind of child to deal with in the class. And I says, I'm thinking, if you can think of anybody like that you've been to school with, times it by 20.
That was
and
you.
That's what I was like through school.
That's incredible.
Through primary school. You know, and I was given pretty much anything that would have kept my attention. Dots, colouring ends, you know. You wouldn't get away with stuff like that now.
Absolutely.
You know, but on the other side of that coin, now I feel sorry for the teachers because how could you have dealt with me?
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. So, Mike, that was your sort of primary school.
Primary school.
Running about in Tullycornet and etc. How was all that for you out of primary school? What sort of setting was that for you?
So then from primary school going into high school was where I would have experimented with a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
You know, and I go from, so it kind of shows you my kind of mindset. Even through childhood, going through school, it was constantly like, what can I do next? What can I do next? What can I do next? Who can I annoy? Who'll chase me? Who'll do this? Who'll do that? And it was almost this kind of like lost sort of feeling.
Yeah.
You know, I had 100 friends, but didn't feel I had any friends. You know, at the same time, you know, it would have been very popular, but it internally felt, didn't matter how many friends I had, didn't matter what I got up to, nothing satisfied or channeled that energy that I had.
Was there anything traumatic or anything that would have made you feel like that? Was there anything that you can pinpoint?
I honestly, I don't know. Mother and father, very, very loving.
Yeah.
Didn't smoke, didn't take drugs. You know, every Sundays we all went on family trips. You know, so it was mother, father wise, brother, sibling wise. We were very sort of close knit sort of family. You know,
That's true.
So I couldn't pinpoint anything that made me feel the way that I felt. So then that led me into high school. The teen years was probably very difficult, I would say, because you start smoking, you start drinking.
Yeah.
You know, I had a bad experience drinking 13, and it put me off drinking for a good few years. But the thing was, I then didn't drink but took a lot of drugs. Yeah. So it was catch-22 there,
Absolutely.
But the issue is, when you take a lot of drugs that are uppers at a young age,
Yeah.
you overproduce dopamine.
Upside in the brain, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
So at 14 was my first experience of drugs. And I even at 14, I remembered vividly smoking dope. It was the first thing I ever tried, smoking dope, and I was sitting in a room full of my mates, and nobody said a word. Everybody was sitting like this, monged out, and in my head, they're all talking about you. They're all laughing at you. They're all so even my first experience taking drugs, that was how it made me feel. And
So
yet,
that developed that like paranoia
Instantly.
thing instantly at
Instantly.
that moment, and that was about 14.
Yeah, 14.
Mike, that's incredible. Obviously, where you're sitting today in Hope to Families, we have a lot of people that come in here that still take drugs,
Yeah.
and we work with them. So, how were you feeling during that period? 14, did you just intensify the whole taking of drugs?
Yeah.
Tell us a wee bit more about that.
So from 14 led to 15.
Yeah.
When I took my first ecstasy tablet. And again, all these feelings were otherworldly, and it completely distracted you from how you really felt. But the thing was, when it distracts you at the time from how you really felt, and you're running around like an idiot off your face,
Yeah.
on ease.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
at no point did you get up the next day and go, wow, that was a great night.
Yeah.
You know, because then the next day, or 3 days later, depending on how long the party lasts for, your head was even worse.
That's incredible.
So you're talking 15, 16, 17, 18, around 18, 19. So you're talking heavy drug use of ecstasy for that length of time. I mean, like, I remember at one point I was taking 10s at once.
Wow.
You know, 10s at once.
Goodness, Mike. During that period of time from 14 up to 19, that wee period, was there any God influence in your life?
Absolutely none.
Nothing at all?
Nothing whatsoever.
So was God even thought of in your own life? Fear
Never.
of dying? Nothing
Never.
like that?
Nothing. Nothing feared me. Nothing made me fear anything. If somebody went, climb up that tree and backflip off it, I would have done it.
So you were just literally crazy?
Yeah, literally.
And literally crazy?
Literally, the word crazy is the only way I could sum it up. And even then, that's an understatement.
That is an understanding. That's incredible, Mike. So, Mike, nothing of God, nothing of the influence of God in your life?
Nothing at all.
So this
my
just...
parents weren't religious, so there was never a Bible in the house. There was never any talk of religion or anything like that at all.
That's incredible. So, just on the drug front, because I want to really just speak about it in a minute, how was all the feelings? You know, you mentioned paranoia. Was there anything else in relation to the mental health?
So, yeah.
I would like to sort of talk about that for a moment or two.
So what happened there was the problem in air. What goes up must come down.
Yeah.
So what is called when you're coming off the back of taking drugs is a come down.
Yeah.
So me and my friends, and the thing was with Tullycornet then, if there was a drug dealer in one block and a party in the next block.
Wow.
Drug dealer in that block, party in the next block, down the hill, same again.
Incredible.
Same again. So you literally take your ease,
Yeah.
partied, take your ease, partied, and before you knew it was Thursday, and you started on Friday.
That is incredible. That is
You know?
incredible. So how were you feeling mentally during all that period of time when you did come down?
Absolutely wrecked.
Wrecked.
Yeah, that was when that was really when the self-harm started.
Okay.
You know, on the come down, you know, so again, when you're feeling like this on the inside,
Yeah.
when you're on a come down of drugs, it's magnified by 100. You know, so on the drugs, you run around like an idiot, you're off your face. Off the drugs, the feelings were intensified by 1,000,000. So the thing was, with this kind of ball of pressure, we'll call it, the only way to release it was through pain. It was the only thing that made it subside was to self-harm.
Self-harm.
Or go back on the drugs, and then you fell back into the same cycle of when the drugs wore off, you run out of money, the party went on,
Self-harm.
self-harm.
Crazy. Just in that, because, you know, self-harm's obviously a big thing in a lot of people's lives right now in our society. How bad did things get? Did you ever have any suicidal tendencies, anything like that?
Yeah.
Mike?
Well, the thing was, if you were drunk and did it, it was with a Stanley knife.
Wow.
So it was. I'm honestly tattooed from the top of my head
Yeah.
down to my toes, and a lot of them are covered in scars.
It's incredible. We're going to come to that in a minute,
Yeah.
because one of the statements we said before we started the interview, I want to come to that and focus on it at the very end.
Yeah.
So fill us in just from that point. What happened in your life? How did God come in, and what took place?
God's a long way away from
down that.
yeah, a long way down the road. So from the back end of taking drugs came the mental health problems.
Yeah.
self-harming, suicide attempts, sectioned in Knockbracken for 3 months, 4 months. All this before I'm 21.
That's incredible.
You know, the self-harming and then the suicide. I classified it as I killed myself, because when I hung myself, I stepped off the bed, I stepped off a stool, and that was it. Black darkness, and was resuscitated and woke up in the Royal Hospital. So from that moment to being resuscitated and woke up in the Royal Hospital, I think at some point I had died there.
My God, it's big stuff.
You know?
Big stuff.
And again, all this before you're 21.
Before you're 21 years of age.
Possibly 22, with drugs, drink, and everything else going on. The timeline could be a little...
Yeah, but it's so real and it's so incredible. What would you say to folk that still are involved in drugs? Obviously, your heart's for them. Because
very, very, very simple. Don't do drugs.
Just that's the message, isn't it?
It's literally that simple.
Yeah.
Will you think about it? And anybody else that takes drugs, think about it. When have you ever took drugs and the next day went, that was a great night? You don't.
That's right.
Because your head's in your top pocket.
That's right, Mike. That is right.
That's the truth, you know.
That is right.
And not only that, if you're now it's cocaine. I don't know anybody that takes these anymore, but they all take cocaine.
Yeah.
It's £90 a bag.
Yeah.
So not only is your head in the top pocket, you're probably £300 down.
That's right.
And at no point do you go, that night was worth £400 or £500, and you probably only went to your local bar.
It's crazy stuff, It's crazy stuff. So, Mike, fill us in a wee bit more just on that journey through that whole thing. I know you were in Knockbracken for a few months sectioned.
Yeah.
Obviously, the mental health takes a real hit during all of this, doesn't it?
Well, again, what goes up must come down.
Must come
it's
down.
That simple.
So, anything in relation to relationships or anything happened during this period of time?
Even from Knockbracken, you know, even from leaving Knockbracken, 21, 22, there was an endless stream of relationships, because no matter what relationship that I was in, never satisfied, always going, what's next? What's next? What's next? What's next?
Wow.
That never ended feeling.
Yeah.
So plenty of long-term relationships ended, you know, loads and loads of stuff. And again, this leads me to my partner Dion now, who I've been with for 9 years. This being the 9th year. How she has stuck me for the previous 8 years before Christ came into my life is absolutely baffling to me.
How was life for her, really? So, give us a wee insight.
Well, imagine living with somebody that's nuts, that can't sit at peace, you know, that's constantly getting tattooed, you know, that it is the gym first before everything. Not only was the gym first, I drank every night. I drank 2 or 3, 4 beers every night. Not only that, I drank every Thursday night, and I drank every Saturday night, and the weekend was a box of beer and a bottle of rum.
And that was the life.
That was my life with Dion, you know.
But Dion, obviously.
So Dion, I've jumped ahead. I've leaped year 10 years. But that 10 year sort of period was a lot of long term relationships over and done with. You know, my daughter Sophie, she's 13 now. You know, with another long term relationship there. Well, when I say long term, it was like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
I'm away. You know, 4 or 5.
And did you have enough? Because that feeling was you need something else, something else.
I had to go. I had to go. Even the slightest argument, I'm away. You know, not even let's sit and talk about it. I'm gone. No, see you later. Could you not go to the gym today? What? See you later. Never speak to you again.
That's incredible.
You know, so what had happened was so coming out of Knockbracken, it was actually my father. He said, come to the gym with me, because it was self-harm and stuff like that. So he said, come to the gym with me. And I says, no, I wouldn't know what to do. You know, this, that, and the other. And he was like, right, so I'll come 1 day a week. Mm-hmm. You know, so I didn't intentionally go 1 day a week. I went, right, I'll go. You know, so I was training 1 day a week, was drinking, partying the other half of the week. And then that turned into training 2 days a week, drinking, partying, mental health problems in between all that. 3 days a week, lads, I can't drink tonight, I'm going to the gym tomorrow. So then that addictive, impulsive personality, then I now know it started to shift.
Yeah.
You know, and the gym life, so I swapped self-harming for training, tattoos. Because the way I viewed my scars was, what I noticed when I self-harmed was I wouldn't self-harm over my tattoos, because they were a representation of scar tissue. So that area was already damaged.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
so I never. So then, of course, look at me. I had the great idea. I've got to get more tattoos.
That's right.
But that turns into an addiction.
Yeah.
So then what I realised was over a very, very long... I now realise I was addicted to pain. I was addicted to torture. You know, whether it was self-torture, you know, or physically cutting myself, getting tattoos, training. You know, I was addicted to pain and torment.
Wow.
So
Incredible. I noticed in your story you had said sometimes you made a quote in relation to looking in the mirror. Do you remember that quote that's in your testimony?
So hate what you see in the mirror.
Yeah, I love that quote.
You know, so I would have walked around the gym looking absolutely miserable because I was looking at myself going, I was going to swear there, but I'm not. But I was looking in the mirror going, I'm going to flip and ruin you, you know. And whatever I was trained, I was looking in the mirror going, I'm going to show you who's boss, you know. And I would have done reps until I was crawling out of that gym. But that satisfied that self-harm tendency that I developed, you know, because I was physically always in pain.
So I was pushing you to that pain barrier thing that you were so addicted to. Just that pain thing.
So, although training was very good supplementation for a while, it then wasn't enough. So steroids come into the picture.
Steroids come into the picture, okay.
Steroids come into the picture.
So do you want to develop that just a little bit?
So again, steroids, and anybody that has taken steroids knows exactly what they do. They amplify whatever you are by 5.
Goodness me.
It's that simple. So if you're prone to talking inside your head,
that intensifies.
Yeah, it intensifies by 5. You know, if you're an aggressive person, that intensifies by 5.
So that took
but
you.
But I was never physically aggressive, but I was internally aggressive towards myself.
So it's really self-loathing here in your life story, isn't it? Pretty much this constant thing,
and also very, 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 very selfish.
Yeah.
Very selfish. I was number one.
And what you wanted, you had to get.
I was number one, and not what I wanted. I had to get. I did whatever I wanted.
It
was that simple, and no one would tell me otherwise.
It's incredible, Mike.
No one.
That's incredible. So fill us in from the stories. Just you take the story through.
So I think I'm training 18 years. I'm now 40. So 22, 23 was when I started training, dabbling with training. I then get into it properly. Well, I say properly from about 25 to 27, 25, 26, 27, and around that age. And I was I was running everywhere. I was training. I was like. Oh, and again, on the outside, he looks great, you know, very, very fit man. On the inside, the opposite. The opposite. So again, everything that I did, you know, even internally in those battles in my head, I wanted to be good, but all my actions were polar opposite. The complete opposite. So if you're at war within your head, you know, so even, you know, it's very strange, you know, when you're trying to be positive in here, but you're in the gym destroying yourself. So yes, you're destroying yourself, but the product of destroying yourself in the gym on the outside looks amazing.
Yeah.
But on the inside, all that's still there.
So obviously we're going to come to so that we know it's an internal problem.
Yeah.
And we know that with the gospel message that it's a problem that needs to be dealt with internally.
Yeah. So I met Dion. So this would have led me up to, I think I met Dion with 31. Well, we're 9 years.
9 years
40,
together.
So we're 9 years together.
Yeah.
So if you're good at math, go back 9 years, and that's what age it was. I don't know how she stuck me. I really, really don't. I have no idea how she put up with me. I don't like, you know, you got this aggressive man, you know, taking steroids that, you know, like Dion would have spoke, you know, about a problem, and I would have rolled my eyes, you know, as if like, let's talk about me, you know, do you know what I mean? I would have, you know, like, or I have bigger issues, I have to go and train arms, do you know what I mean? We're really going to the gym, it's nothing compared to the life dramas, like, do you know what I mean? But going to the gym was my answer to everything. She's annoyed me, I'm out of the gym. There's no milk, I'm out of the gym. You know, honestly, it was my answer to everything. So it was. So again, with Dion, like, can you imagine her being with somebody so selfish, so self-centered? But on the inside, I was going, I love her so much. I want to do everything for her till she asked me to do something.
Yeah, I understand, yeah.
You know, literally. Till she asked me to do something. You know, and that might have been hoover or polish or, you know, does this look nice to me? And God, I told you 5 times it looks nice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or well, it would have been twice.
Right.
No, my patience is better. Now it's 5 times.
That's right, Mike.
So my patience is better. So it has.
Yeah, so go on ahead. Share with us Dion's now in your life.
So Dion, we're together 9 years. We've 2 children together, Amber and Ezra. Amber's just turned 7.
Lovely.
And Ezra's 4. He'll be 5 in May, 25th of May. They're tattooed on me somewhere. So
I would imagine,
I usually have to look.
That's right.
So I could be wrong here. Yeah, so we'll fast forward a few more years. So even before Amber was born, me and Dion were together a couple of years, and even as a father, you know, I like, my kids are my life.
Yeah.
I would have done anything for them. You know, I now realise that the man that I was to them was a quarter of what I should have been, or even half of what I should have been. It really, really was. You know, I always had them at the park, but I wasn't there. I might have been physically there, but I wasn't there because I was either on a come down, juiced to the rafters, because I would have took drugs, but every 8 weeks, every 9 weeks, once every 4 weeks, something like that. There was no selected date to it. But I drank every day. I drank a couple of beers every day, and I got drunk twice a week. So even now not drinking, I even have 2 beers. And the next day, and I went, I used to drink 18 beers a night and a bottle of rum.
Crazy.
And you'd cheat to call yourself a good parent. Yeah. You're no role model,
It's incredible.
You know? So, but then in your head, you're going, I want to be the best man I can be.
Yeah.
The best father that I can be to my children. But your actions were polar opposite.
It's madness, isn't it?
Because role models don't go out and take
That's
coke.
right, that's right.
You know, role models don't get blitzed and neck bottles of rum. Do you know what I mean?
And that was your life.
That was my life.
That was your life.
I don't even know how I'm still alive. Well, I know now I'm still alive.
And God's got a plan for you.
Yeah.
We're going to come to that.
You know, so even then, so I mean, you're even then you're coming up into 38.
Yeah.
You know, so you're talking 38 years of just absolute. I always feel I've just a trail of devastation behind me. The 39 years.
Yeah. Of your life.
Of devastation. So I do, because I now know the difference.
It's incredible. Is there anything else you want to highlight in that 39 years?
Well, yes. So we'll get on to how I ended up in church.
Yeah, because I'm really excited about this.
So my daughter Amber at 5, she's now 7, begged me to take her to church. Begged me. Amber never went to church or anything herself. I'll explain. So she went to GB, but Amber begged me to take her to church on a Sunday, and I went, I am not taking you to church. Your mummy will take you to church. No, Daddy, I want you to take me to church. Amber, I am not taking you to church, darling. Your granny Pat will take you to church.
That's right. Yeah.
No, Dad, I want you to take me to church. What about this person take you to church? No, I want you to take me to church. So God knows.
That's right.
He knows
that
I would do anything for my children. So we went to church. And I was like, I'm going to catch fire walking through the doors here. I'm just going to Amber, I love you in case you never see me again. I was going to burst into dust.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Internally combust.
Yeah.
So Amber got me to take her to church. And I was St Mary's in Ballybean as my home church, and I absolutely love St Mary's. It's such a family orientated church. As soon as I walked in, I looked at everyone and went, everyone's glowing.
That's right.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I probably have this dark cloud hovering over me, you know?
Yeah.
You know, so I sat there, and initially the first month, 6-8 weeks was like watching paint dry. I was literally like, oh, what is going on here? Amber, what have you done to me? I'm losing these hours, I'm never getting these back, you know? And then Jim said something one time, and I went, what'd he say? You know, and then I started listening, and then I went, you know what? I don't need to drink beer every night. So I stopped drinking beer every night. You know, I still get drunk twice a week, but I stopped drinking
beer. Yes, every night. Yeah.
Then I went, well, do I really need to drink? So minus the couple of beers a night, do I really need to drink 38 beers a week and a bottle of rum? I don't think I do. So that was reduced, you know. Then smoked. I need to smoke. So smoking slowly without doing all this was before I became a Christian.
Incredible.
You know, so it was just working away, and like you're talking a couple of months now of just these small changes, and then a few of the lads from the church were all training together, you know, and then I noticed like none of them is swear. Like I'm in the middle of a set going, come on, you know, and they're going, oh flip, that was tough, you know, and I'm going, I've never heard anyone speak like that, you know.
Yeah.
Because the gym is a real testosterone and feel environment where men are across
Yeah,
the spectrum,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. And then I went, I swear an awful lot, you know, and then that slowly went. And then I was invited. Oh, sorry, they did an alpha course?
Yeah, yeah.
So I went. I was invited to it. I was like, I'm gonna go. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna know everyone the first night. I'm gonna write down all these questions and hit them with the questions. Mic drop. Let's see you later.
That's right.
And literally, the intro to Alpha, the video, the initial intro video to Alpha, and if anybody hasn't seen it, watch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Watch it. The intro to Alpha. My jaw hit the floor, and I went, they're talking about me. You know, they're talking about me. Like, they're talking about never being satisfied, never being truly fulfilled, never seeking everything else away from God's love.
Yeah.
And I went, they're talking about me. So then the ears perked up, you know, and then in Alpha, the fourth or fifth week, I was sitting at my kitchen table, and I put my hands out, and I went, I can feel the Spirit now, you know. I put my hands out, and I went, Jesus, I need you.
Lovely.
Jesus, I need you in my life.
Yeah.
And in an instant, he showed me a picture of, I've always been there. Now, for me, feeling that, I didn't realise it was a picture at the time. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
For me, it was goosebumps. It was your stomach turned inside out. It was the sweats. It was everything but words, you know. And then I now know that he showed me a picture of I've always been there. And he instantly took me to passing and qualifying my level 2 fitness instructor and level 3 personal training. So I'm not too sure if it said, but I got through to school. I've already spoken about my school life and how it was, but I got through to school the tail end of third year, start of fourth year. That's when I got through to school. So it shows you the level of education that I had. So on paper, I shouldn't have been able to pass any exams. None at all. You know?
Incredible. So take us back to that moment, just that amazing encounter with Christ. So thank
so
God for Amber, by the way.
Yeah, 100%.
That's incredible.
You know? And what I was then shown that I was saying to people at the time that I'm taking Amber to church. I'm taking Amber to church with the old roll of the eyes and all, and then God showed me in a picture that it was Amber that took me to church.
Absolutely.
So Amber took my hand, led me through the doors of St. Mary's. Because what she associated was, and Amber's very sensitive. Okay, she was always asking me, "Are you okay, Daddy? Are you okay, Daddy? Are you okay, Daddy?" And on the surface, I probably was, but I wasn't in here.
Yeah.
I was hurting. I was constantly in pain. And so that's how I know she was always asking that. So what Amber associated was GB, God's love, and happiness. And she put those three together and begged me to go to church.
You got to emphasise them three again, Mike, because they are incredible. Emphasise them three things again.
Amber associated GB with God's love, contentment, and fulfillment. You know, because I was broken.
Yeah.
Physically, I wasn't. Physically, I was strong like bull.
Yeah.
But on the I was a broken man. I was a fraction of the man I should have been, or could have been. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Because everything I did was the opposite way. Was the opposite way from Jesus. Everything I did, and every single thing I did, took me further and further and further and further and further away from Him. And it shows you, no matter what you do or how sinful your life is, or you think it is, He's there for you in an instant.
Amen.
All you need to do, please help.
That's right. That is right, Mike.
That's
with
it.
you. Yeah.
That's
it's
it.
incredible. But you get to that moment in life where you realise your need of something outside to come and actually do something inside of you. I understand that. So from that moment, Mike, how's things been? Because I know when you walked in here, and I know when Luke met you, it's been incredible just to hear something about
my
what God's
life
doing.
has completely changed.
Yeah.
Completely changed. I am now 10 times the man I ever was. 100 times the man I ever was.
Yeah.
100 times the man I ever was. And none of it's my doing. It's all through Christ.
Hallelujah.
Every single bit of it.
Yeah.
Because the 39-year car crash, 39-year trail of devastation behind me was my doing.
Yeah.
Away from Christ.
It's amazing.
And now my walk this year with Christ has been the best year of my life. Fulfillment, contentment, guidance, direction, all that through Christ.
Yeah.
Not only that, I'm now the man my missus deserves.
Absolutely.
And has always deserved.
Yeah.
I'm now the father my children deserve.
Yeah.
You know?
So just on that, because I want to come to conclude at the very end about something that you and I were talking about off camera, but tell us about just the family experience. You were sharing something that you do, you're called the Unicorn.
Oh, we're called the Unicorn Family
Yeah.
on Instagram. So we are, and once a year we dress up as unicorns and go to Belfast Zoo.
Brilliant, Michael.
And what actually happened was people were calling us the Unicorn Family.
Family.
The kids were going, look, Mummy, that's
The
the Unicorn Family.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So that's why we're called the Unicorn Family.
Incredible.
So there is.
So Mike, you and I, we were talking just, as you know, I was in Bushmills this morning, and when you come in, we were just talking about how, so to look at Mike, right? You walk into a church in Northern Ireland with me on Sunday, okay? They immediately, in our church culture in Northern Ireland, we think, oh, there's an outsider, or there's a sinner coming in, we need to start praying for this guy. So we've got this thing where we look at the outside to define the person, whether they're a Christian or not. So you're coming up on the train today with your little ponytail beard, your earrings and all. To look at the outside, the majority of people think
Polar opposite.
Polar opposite.
Polar opposite.
And what I was saying in Bushmills this morning to some of the families is, how can we as the Church of Jesus Christ, what do we need to do? What shift needs to happen in order to let people see the love of Christ instead of rules, regulations, and this, that, and the other? So talk me through a wee bit of how you feel God's directing you.
Well, God's directed me to bridge the gap.
Yeah.
It's very, very simple. Like, I am not an educated man, you know, and I'm not, I do read my Bible, but I couldn't quote scripture to anybody.
Yeah.
But I know that God is calling me to make Christ real and relevant and bridge the gap in the community between everyday life and Christ.
That's incredible, Mike.
Everyday life and Christ, and I'm in the middle showing,
here's how it comes together.
All this is how it comes together.
That's incredible.
And here's how easy it is to come together. Please.
Absolutely.
Please come into my life, Lord.
Yeah, absolutely. You were saying to me earlier as well, you've got a few engagements coming up because God's now opening doors for you. Revelation 3, it says he opens doors. So
through a year of argument with him, of saying there's bound to be someone better than me. There's bound to be someone else. There has to be someone else. I don't know anything, you know. But in that year, I've went to Cornhill. I've done the summer school where I met Luke. Right. I've done study days. So my knowledge is, I feel like I've put a scratch on the scratch off the surface of the Bible.
Yeah.
But I know enough now where I can tell people about Christ.
Lovely.
So I can.
That is lovely, and that's your heart when you walk.
And not only that, I'm 8 months into my 2.5 year evangelism course.
That's incredible. You still in the same church in Ballybeen?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the church you love. You were saying it's a real family oriented church.
St Mary's, Ballybeen.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Is there anything else you want to share with the folk? A wee message just to ensure before we conclude?
I would honestly say, if any part of what I've said to you strikes a chord, if you feel lost, broken, empty, unsatisfied, unfulfilled, and you might have everything that you've sort of wanted in front of you, or you have a lot of money, there's nothing that is going to fulfill you more than the love of God. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely, there's nothing at all.
Incredible, Mike. Meg, it has been so good to have you come up today, and I genuinely mean that. I know that this is the start of something amazing for you, your family, Dion, Ezra, Amber. Isn't that the kids? And I got them right there. And
Sophie.
And Sophie, of course, I remember Sophie at the start. Of course I do. So listen, folks, it has been so good to be with this man today. As you know, our little place here, Hope to Families, people, in fact, one man yesterday called in and he says, I don't know why you do what you do or how you do what you do. Jesus Christ, this is what he did. He came to bridge gaps and reach into broken lives. That's why we do what we do in Hope to Families. So I hope this story has blessed you. I hope if you're watching and listening to this, that you will understand that the devil wants to kill, to steal, and to destroy you. Jesus said, I've come to give you life. And here's the clue. Life to the full. So God bless you from Mike and I in Jesus' name.